The surviving trolls join Terezi on the roof of the meteor in anticipation of the critical moment when they will escape the veil and the wrath of Jack Noir. They are waiting for a beacon from the furthest ring. The others aren't sure what to do about Gamzee, who is still in scary murder mode. They entertain various romantic impulses, but it is Karkat who takes the initiative. Karkat offers Gamzee his more allegiance and calms his juggalo-ass down with the tenderness and grace of a true palemate. The courtyard droll uses the contents of Dad's wallet to assassinate Jade. The droll is tickled by his handiwork, until he sees its effect on Noir, whose doggy love for Jade has not relented. Karkat's ancestor, the Sufferer, was the spiritual leader of a heresy that challenged the brutal caste structure supporting Feferi's ancestor, the Condess, Empress of the Trolls. In his lifetime, he was called the Signless. The Signless shared Karkat's bright red blood. When he fell to Alternia as a grub, no Lucis would adopt him. He survived in the care of the Dolorosa, Kanaya's ancestor, who had to raise him in secret. After pupating, he had visions from another life in which Alternia was peaceful and kind. But they were not exactly visions of Alternia. Karkat's session began on the flip side of a scratch. There was another Sagrub session, in which the Signless and his friends were the players while Karkat and his friends were the ancestors. They lived in a world untroubled by Doc Scratch's guidance. When these softer trolls played Sagrub, they failed and found themselves at a dead end. The game offered them a second chance at the price of oblivion. By resetting their session, they would let their ancestors play and their roles would be reversed. After completing the scratch, they lived only in the Signless's lucid memories. The Signless preached his vision of peace and gained many followers, including Nempetta's ancestor, the Disciple, and Solix's ancestor, the Psionic. Their movement spread throughout the galaxy before the High Blood suppressed it. The Signless was caught, wedgied, flogged, and left to die in red-hot irons. His last breath was a cry of limitless rage. The Disciple was also condemned, but Darkleer disobeyed and spared her. In hiding, she painted the Sufferer's gospel. Ages later, their followers secretly prepared for the Sufferer's descendant so that he would have a sign and a Lucis, despite his blood. Her condescension drafted the Psionic into her galactic campaign. He became the helmsman, propelling her flagship through the cosmos faster than light with his telekinesis. They spent millennia expanding the Empire, conquering every alien race they met. The Condess kept her subjects in line by threatening to make Glub Glub sing, but when she flew too far from Alternia, her bond with the Leviathan Lucis faded. The Reckoning came, wounding Glub Glub just as the last players were entering the medium. The vast Glub killed every troll in the galaxy except the Condess and Feferi. The Condess steered back to Alternia. She arrived home 1,300 years later, and was greeted by Aradia's ancestor, the Handmaid. The Handmaid was the only ancestor to be given a post-Reckoning meteor. Doc Scratch raised her on the Green Moon, and groomed her to serve Lord English. Using time travel, she terrorized the entire history of the Alternian race, reinforcing the events that would cause her master to enter the universe. When the Handmaid's work was done, she approached the Condess, and they fought. The Condess killed the Handmaid and replaced her as Lord English's witch. She will serve English in another universe. Doc Scratch's job is to usher his master into the Troll universe. In order to do that, Scratch has to exist and be powerful. The Alpha timeline is full of entities contributing to their own creation, and Scratch is no exception. That is why he manipulates the trolls and kids. But once he has secured his birth and power source, he must see to his death. Lord English must be summoned. When the Felt fought the Midnight Crew, Scratch's colleague Snowman was able to torment Spade Slick with impunity because if Slick killed her, the universe would end, and he didn't want that. But that is exactly what must happen. The thing that summons English is a virus that runs when the universe dies. After unseen events which gave Slick a prosthetic arm and freed him from the vault where he commanded Karkat as an exile, Slick visits Scratch in his apartment. He does his best to be a horrible guest with curt manners, egregious womanizing, murdering the help, casual arson, and atrocious candy bowl etiquette. Scratch beat up Slick savagely and sent him away with a suicidal mission and a cue ball gun. The Handmaid's bedroom has a fifth wall, a window between Scratch's apartment and Hussey's. After a fight with her guardian, the Handmaid uses this portal to get Hussey's attention. Hussey bursts through the window and decides to suspend Scratch's narrator privileges. Doc Scratch goes limp and lifeless in Hussey's hands. Hussey pulls the repair disc out of Scratch's plush body and returns to his own apartment.
What are you waiting for? Draw, Spades.
Signless.
Scratch's apartment is transported into the green sun. Lord English bursts out of Scratch's body and cue ball head. He is a green demon with pool ball eyes and a cue stick leg. He takes his Cairo overcoat from between Hussey's portals, speaks the hideous vast honk, and leaves to prey on an entire dead universe. Hey everyone, if you like this summary, the original is by Rafe, link in the description. Please like and comment. I regret to say this might be the last Homestuck Summarized video for various reasons, but I did enjoy making them and hope you enjoy watching them. Thanks for watching, everyone.